Oh, shit, I got to get my notepad on.
Welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark Live. Rob went to go grab his notepad. So
in the morning here, WNBC.
There he is.
Amerson, hey, how you doing, everybody? How's the Donkey Kong, everybody? Amerson in the morning, WNBC. Okay. 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 Shit, can't get out of Imus mode. WNBC. NBC. Now say it with me, Tom, one more time. WNBC. How's it going, everybody? You start out the intro, might as well take us the rest of the way.
You're like, I'm starting, and you're like, oh, I gotta grab my notepad, and it's like, shit, it's going.
It's go time.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
But that's why they're here live, because they want to hear the shenanigans and the crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
Thumbs up if you like that.
Exactly. Hit that thumbs up. I'm Tom Connors. With me, as always, is the narrator supreme, or burrito supreme, Rob Yellow, and of course, the vivacious Mecha Random Game User 42.
Hello.
Harpy.
Your favorite YouTube harpy.
Yes, our favorite YouTube harpy. Yes, you're not a harp. You're not a harp. You're absolutely lovely.
Well, depends on who I'm going after on a video.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm a harpy.
Yes, you're gonna be in full harpy mode now since we got news.
Star Trek, yes. Godzilla, no.
Okay. Let's start it off here. We got now. Are we looking forward to the Picard series?
No.
No, we're not.
No.
Yes, I am.
Oh, Picard, are you looking forward to the Picard series?
Fuck yes, I get money.
Yes, you get a lot of it, actually. Oh, boy. Yeah, because actually news broke today, and this is Orville related, too. The city of Los Angeles is giving a lot of tax breaks to CBS, and they're giving tax breaks to the production of the Orville, and the Orville could be looking at a season 3.
It helps.
It's the best kind of welfare.
It helps everybody.
It trickles down, doesn't it?
Oh, I had that problem once. I had to get a shot.
I was gonna say there's a pill for that.
There is now.
Yeah. We can't cure the common cold, but we got pills that make old men hotter than Phoenix in July. Go figure.
That's right.
So anyway, yeah. Oh, right out of the gate, Pocket James Comics with a $5 super chat. I have unleashed another poorly written comic book onto the world. Guinevere and the Divinity Factory up on Kickstarter today. Already 30+ backers. Okay, well. Thank you for the $5 super chat in exchange for that plug.
Pocket Jacks Comics is the name. And
Pocket Jacks Comics.
I don't know if you're somebody who normally comes into the chat, but
and they're not poorly written. That's a running joke from my channel. Like I was like just kind of reacting to the chat. I think he said something like the Comics to Gate people were really mean to his book, and I'm like, I don't know. I think that's only when people are like have poorly written comics, and so it was like a total. And I'm so sorry about that. So please go check out his comic book. Yes, please go check it out.
I just want you to linger in the embarrassment.
I know.
Oh, actually, I'm on Deadline looking at the Picard story, but actually, there's a nice picture of Ruby Rose as Batwoman on the TV section of Deadline right now. It actually looks pretty good. It really does. It looks very good. And let me share that. Let me send that to you, Tom, so you can share that. Just as a quick sidebar to that.
I heard she jumped on Bat Rug.
Oh yes. Do I really want to do this joke? He says, "Get me the bat strap on." So Ruby Rose said that. Giggity, 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 goo. So, oh shit, and I lost that picture. Oh well. Oh, did I highlight the wrong one?
It sent
I
me
don't
to
You
know.
an
can tell it's
ad.
fucking Monday, can't you?
It sent me
Sent
to
you
an
to-
ad.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, well, trust me, it's up there. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So, and then actually, there's a picture of her
Oh,
on
there we go.
with the story with
That one?
the guy from and with the guy from Arrow. That actually
Actually, I
looks
think
pretty good.
that's Grant Gustin, or how you say his name.
Grant
'Cause they're
Gustin.
they're in a like an alternate world story thing now.
Okay, and he's Green Arrow, but actually, yeah, that doesn't look too bad. And we're back to Old Man Picard. Okay, but after that little diversion, so as I was saying, there's a lot of tax break, and that's very common actually. That these productions get tax breaks to film in and around Los Angeles and to hire people to work on the show, promote jobs, and everything kind of trickles down. And so we're all supposed to benefit from it, but who really knows if that actually works? I'm still waiting on the the effects to trickle down. If I could just find the damn story. It was for God's sake, I should have bookmarked it. Well, anyway, let me go with the Picard story from EW. Alex Kurtzman, producer, explains how Picard's spinoff will be extremely different. Now, when Alex Kurtzman, when he speaks, we all just kind of collectively groan, don't we?
Yes. Because he starts every sentence with the word "and." He didn't in this article, but every other time I've read articles with him, it's just "and Mikey
Could have been
Spock."
edited.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could. Yeah.
No, I mean they could have edited it out.
They
That's
could have,
true.
yeah, they could have trimmed the article. Yeah. There's 3 words that come to mind when I hear the name Alex Kurtzman, and that's waste of oxygen. Really, I have no. There's no love lost between me and Alex Kurtzman. I would really. Oh, okay. So anyway, let's go through this. The mysterious upcoming Star Trek series, bringing back fan favorite Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart, is going to be very different in tone from previous shows in the franchise. And below, executive producer Alex Kurtzman and explains how. Exactly how. Oh God, this is filling me with impending dread. The writer producer. Okay, calling Alex Kurtzman a writer is a stretch. Really, has he written anything that qualifies as compelling? I don't think he has. Okay, the writer producer has worked on J.J. Abrams' Star Trek films and is the current showrunner.
I'm sure he's given his grandmother a lot of beautiful parts that he's written.
Dear Grandma, happy birthday, and I hope you're well, and please make and have many more. And
those were such beautiful cards.
She put them up on the fridge. So anyway, showrunner on CBS Axel Stromy, and as well as an executive producer on the Picard series. We asked Kurtzman how the spinoff will compare to Discovery and Stewart's previous Star Trek series, The Next Generation. It's an extremely different rhythm than Discovery, Kurtzman told EW exclusively. And I'm having trouble doing an Alex Kurtzman voice. Okay. Discovery is a bullet. Picard is a very contemplative show. It will find a balance between the speed of Discovery and the nature of what Next Gen was.
Billy West.
See, if Billy West were in the Picard series, it might be good.
Yeah. But I believe it will have its own rhythm. Kurtzman continue.
Billy West as Alex Kurtzman.
Without revealing too much about it, people have so many questions about Picard and what happened to him, and the idea we get to take time to answer those questions in the wake of many, many, many things he's had to deal with in next gen is really exciting. More grounded is not the right way to put it, because season 2 of Discovery is also grounded. It will feel more real world, if that's the right way to put it. So there you have it.
It's going to be dark.
The words that come to mind when asked to describe Picard's show are things like real world, contemplative, grounded, and Kurtzman used Picard as if that's what it says.
Perza. No, you should see what he wrote. He said as a $5 Canadian super chat. Where do we sign to get the petition to get Tom's Old Man Picard series instead?
Well, we're right here. You could do it right
That'd
here.
be like Bad Grandpa in space or whatever.
I'd love to see that.
Is it a planet where there's a bunch of strippers or something fun?
I'm gonna make my own Star Trek show. It's gonna
Sir,
be so
we
much
want the
better.
show to be more real world and dark. That's a fucking bummer. Some tits. Well, we're on CBS All Access. I can say fuck, and we can show boobies and blood and guts and glory
And hookers and blackjack. Okay, well, there's one more quote from Alex Kurtzman.
I call it 21.
Only Stewart has been cast in the spinoff so far. Kurtzman added, the writer's room, now they put a quote on the writer's room. The writer's room has broken about 8 episodes, and we're quickly moving, and I couldn't be more excited about it, he noted. There's no premiere date as of yet. And blah, 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 nobody cares.
That was Billy West.
As Alex Kurtzman. And
Billy West is Larry as Alex Kurtzman.
hey, Larry Fine of the Three Stooges at Woodstock. Oh, please get off those towers. I had long hair before any of you jerk-offs. Get off those towers, you hard-ons. Don't eat the brown acid. I'm warning you. And somebody get me a whore.
We have
What do you remember about Woodstock? Well, I fell out of place until I saw Sha-Na-Na. Did you
Billy West is
do drugs? I said to Mo, let's trip. We've got nothing to lose. I tie-dyed my hair. Okay. Alex Kurtzman.
Is that how Carrot Top was born?
Yes.
Alex Kurtzman is Carrot Top is the love
Woodstock, and then the result was Carrot Top.
Yes. Alex Kurtzman is the bastard love child of Carrot Top and Larry Fine. God's sake! Every time I read anything any quote by Alex Kurtzman, I get dumber. Dear God! Oh my God!
And this is why we pick on Discovery so much too.
God won't help us now.
So anyway, the story about the tax breaks, because I need to flush that awfulness out of my system. Just as a follow-up. From Deadline on Star Trek Next Generation, Patrick Rousseau, blah, blah, blah. Okay. First announced on August 4, that the X-Men franchise alum would be back as Picard, CBS expansion, blah, 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 blah. Okay, just blah, 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 blah. Okay. Was among 3 new shows, series to be rewarded from the $90 million available for TV projects, period. Okay, Desperate Housewives creator Mark Cherry's Why Women Kill, also for CBS All Access, and the very under radar Flowers of Helvetica, or whatever it is. Helvetica, thank you.
The font.
Are the other new shows that reap tax credits, joining in CBS, okay, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, but this also ties into, among dozens of other new projects applying for November 5th to 9th slot, Season 3 of The Orville, that took top spot with almost $15 million in tax credits. Okay, so that, it's a very common practice, like I said, because Hollywood and the studios are such an engine to generate jobs and revenue. There's a lot of union jobs too, union carpenters and stuff like that, sound people. So it's not unusual for people, but apparently Season 3 is now looking pretty good because the Orville got these tax breaks. And if there's one good thing to come out of this, that's it. So, but let's I want to talk.
Don't forget about my pony.
Yes, your pony.
I got a pony.
But the whole thing about the whole thing about Picard, my God, really, we're still. I think didn't you say that more grounded, more real world means cheaper? Didn't you say that, Random?
I think I just meant that it's going to be like what we see every day, without like science fiction. Yeah, I probably did say cheaper, but I think I
thought it meant darker.
Well, yeah, I think I was intending it meant like more SJW politics that we see every day and every other thing.
Because like everything's got to be dark and gloomy. And
Yeah.
Everything's dark and gritty. God, the kids love their dark and gritty. But I don't. But at the end of that, even the dark episodes of Next Gen, even there was a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when Picard was getting tortured, I mean, Angelico was taking command of the Enterprise. They're all four lights, you know, but it did have that was a happy ending, but you know, even though there was a seed of doubt thrown in at the end, everything was resolved and everything could move on. We could just all, and we would hit the reset button and start again on the next episode. What do you call it? It means all the other Captain Robert April. Hey, Captain Robert. It means all other TNG characters died off screen, so they don't have to pay big bucks to bring them back. Yeah. So anyway, well, Nathan Box wants to know what we think of Men in Black International. We'll get to that in a minute.
Well,
so
yeah,
what are your guys?
What
are your guys' takes on this? So, just the Picard thing. I mean, are we making too much out of this?
Real world, just to be more down to earth, not as many aliens and special effects. That's one thing. I have no issue with that because then that pushes you to write good story. But if they're doing it to be more dark and gritty, I've had enough dark and gritty. Because wasn't Roddenberry's whole thing was there's no hate, no greed. Every kid can read. That's his whole mantra for however it went. I'm sorry if I got it wrong, but something like that. $2 or €2, or is that pounds? £2 from Neon Visual.
Pounds.
I'm calling it now. Picard gets killed off. Yeah, that's what I said too.
That's what I was thinking.
I hope not. I hope not. If he does, it just proves how utterly tone deaf and idiotic, and what a big idiot Alex Kurtzman is. How many? Oh, Kush asks how many think John Delancey will return as Q. I hope he returns. I don't think Alex Kurtzman or anybody in
Q
the
age.
No, he doesn't. But I don't think anybody in the Star Trek writers' room knows how to write Q or knows how to write. Period.
Well, the first thing that I would do if I were writing Q is I would say, I would make a joke about why he aged, and I would have Picard say, "Shouldn't or I didn't," or something like a question. I didn't know you aged, and Q said, "Oh, I did it because you did."
I was going to say actually, you do something close to that. First of all, just have him normal. Like CGI him for about 3-4 minutes, maybe at the most, and then have him comment on Picard's age and be like, "Well," and then make himself look older. Does this make you feel better or something like that? Yeah, like you kind of were saying toward that kind of.
Well, Jean-Luc. Well, Jean-Luc, I didn't think you'd
difference to me.
Well, Jean-Luc, I wanted you to feel more comfortable about yourself aging and facing your own mortality, so I decided to present myself in an older form to you. Does that make you happy?
Otherwise, just do him CG, young him down, whatever.
Yeah, Chris Persia. Rob is right. No one knows in the STD right knows how to write. Yeah, they're literally sitting there with a typewriter, and they're throwing their. Well, I wish I could see this. I'm throwing my hands up in front of my keyboard. They're like, a click.
No, they're on their phones letting it autocorrect their text messages to each other. That's all it is. Like they're typing out random letters of the alphabet, and whatever it autocorrects to or what it autofills to, that's what we get. That's why nothing makes sense.
Jaegerbomb, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you all think he'll suffer a similar humiliation in that other icons in sci-fi have already gone through recently? The more I hear, the more I fear. Yeah, that's the big trend actually in science fiction and in fiction.
You've been worried about that, Rob. You've been saying you're worried they're going to luke him up or whatever.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, not to get off topic, but they and everybody's raving about in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. They luked up Peter Parker in this. Peter Parker is a fat, washed-up loser who's bored with being a superhero.
Spoilers. I didn't.
Yeah. Well, the Peter Parker in this other universe, he like I said, he's a burger eating, overweight, Has been.
He's the guy from Jurassic World. That's all I see when I hear his voice. Was it that difficult to get Tobey Maguire? Really?
Or the guy who used to play Peter Parker from the animated series?
That would have been fine too. But the whole thing is, if it's supposed to be Tobey Maguire, just get Tobey Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gosh, Peter Parker doesn't look fat and washed up. No, they're not showing you in the trailer what happened to him. I was reading the EW review, and actually they said, they took a page out of from the Last Jedi, and they pretty much copy and pasted the Luke Skywalker characterization on top of Peter Parker.
Oh God! See, now I have to go see it.
Well, except it seems like Peter actually wants to train him, though.
Actually, but it went through this whole. They went through the whole. Well, they went through the whole thing. It says, Miles like, but Peter, you're a hero. Oh yeah, I'm bored with that. I'm like, oh, go fuck yourself, huh? I can't stand this fucking shit.
Yeah.
Why do we gotta stop deconstructing our heroes? Fuck.
Actually, Peter Parker wouldn't say that. He would say, "I don't feel like one," or something like that. He wouldn't.
Or something. Yeah. Well, anyway, we're kind of getting off. We're
something more more self, deprecating than I don't want to get off my lawn.
That was
Spider-Man.
That was some other guy. He says like that was some other guy a long time ago or whatever. NPCs have souls, and come on, it's Sony. I'm like, yeah, that's. But the sad thing is, I'm playing the Spider-Man game, and that's actually the best Spider-Man movie that's come out in the last few years.
Yeah, I keep hearing that.
Yeah, it's actually very good. Yeah, and when you think it's over, when you think you've done everything, nope, they start another part of the story. That's good. That's good. Dynamo 75, the new Spider-Man anime was probably going to bomb it. I hope it is. I hope so. I really do. I hate saying that, but
we've talked about it for like 2 weeks now about how they keep
do we want to
bouncing
separate
around the opening weekend numbers from 30 to 40 and here and there. It's like, even if it goes to that high 40, 45, that's still a shit number for a Spider-Man movie, let alone an animated Spider-Man movie, considering Wreck-It Ralph is doing how well. Its third weekend in a row was number one.
What did Wreck-It Ralph pull in?
Its first weekend was like $94 million.
Okay, yeah. I got a feeling that's getting a lot of return business.
Well, yeah, for 3 weeks in a row, it's been number one.
Let me see.
Yeah, and kids will go see it during their Thanksgiving break, and they'll probably go see it during Christmas break. I think
it's a lot of parents going too, and guys, and it's got a lot of cross.
Yeah,
see, I've always said Wreck-It Ralph was the only Disney movie that should have been a Pixar movie.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see box office. Yeah.
John Lasseter directed it anyway. I think the first one, anyhow.
I think Aquaman will probably just knock out Spider-Verse.
It might.
Hopefully.
I think Aquaman's going to do a bit better than we're probably even anticipating.
Mm-hmm.
Wreck-It Ralph
is any reason than just because curiosity more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph's pulled in $140 million domestically so far. Let me see. Weekend. Let's see. Weekly box office. For
Rob Moore directed the first one. Okay, then I think Lasseter wrote it anyway. Sorry.
I'm trying to find the summary. Daily weekend. Let me see the weekend.
See, I assume like Aquaman's gonna get a lot of women going just because Jason Momoa. Yeah, I think a lot of you're gonna get a lot of people who would go to this who might not go to Captain Marvel, who might not go to. A lot of
middle-aged mothers are gonna go and drag their 6-year-old sons to this movie.
Oh, that's the Aquaman. You wanted to see him, don't you? No, Mom, I wanted to see Wreck-It Ralph again. You want to see Aquaman? December 7th through the 9th, Wreck-It Ralph pulled in $16 million.
Wait, I need to grab some tissues. Why? It's not a sad movie, Mom. Just shut up and go. That was a sick joke. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Mommy's special friend's going to be named Jason from now on. December 9th, December 7th through the 9th, Wreck-It Ralph pulled in $16,253,831. And that was a 36% drop off from last week. The drop offs aren't that steep.
Not for Wreck-It Ralph, no. Or Ralph Breaks the Internet, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Yeah, it had a 54% drop off.
I feel bad. Okay, I do.
I know a certain kitty that's gonna sleep with mommy tonight. What? But but what's Into the Spider-Verse? Is it still tracking around 30 million?
I have no clue. I haven't heard anything about it. All I keep seeing is reviews.
But yeah, and like I said, and I saw another review from some blogger, and again, it just makes me think that they are just letting certain people see this movie who are going to be more generous. Let me see.
I don't get. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I get saying it's a good movie, but it's scoring higher than all the other Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, there's no way it's better than Spider-Man 2. It can't be. It just can't be, period. I may be sounding negative or something. I don't know how to put it, but
I wonder if they're trying really hard to appeal to the kind of anime crowd, maybe like that crowd who will watch anything animated. Like I want to say like the 24-year-old kids.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm wrong, I go into this movie and it's a lot more deep than I'm giving it credit for. Fine. But from everything I've seen, it's everything I'm afraid it was going to be. And I know we're known as the haters on this movie, and everybody else is loving it right now. And it's just. But if I do like it, I'll be honest about it because I was honest about Bohemian Rhapsody. So.
Yeah. From Cartoon Brew, surprise of the year, Sony Animation Spider-Man has emerged as Oscar frontrunner. See, now, like I said, every time I see Oscar frontrunner and like I said, and things like that, Best Buy, like you're planting a seed of doubt in the back of my brain. I'm like this because we all know what happened when everyone said about another movie that was supposed to be an Oscar frontrunner and the best movie in the series. I'm looking at you, roundhead Ryan Johnson, you roundheaded motherfucker.
And that's another thing I keep saying is that always everything that comes out anymore always has to be the best there ever was. There is nothing wrong with saying that it's not as good as Spider-Man 2. Even we were saying, oh yeah, Homecoming, it's not the best Spider-Man movie ever. Most of us feel at least the first two Rami movies are probably better. I mean, we're honest about that. Why can't I mean, if I'm wrong, like I said, I will admit it, but I don't see it. There's nothing that I have seen yet to convince me that this is nothing more than just a very expensive Turtles Forever.
Oh, you want to hear something? Actually, Rotten Tomatoes removed my comment on their Discuss board about Into the Spider-Verse. I said Sony's trying to build as much hype as possible for this movie in the hopes that they can leverage it to get a better deal from Kevin Feige at Marvel, or if that fails, they can yank Spidey out of the MCU. So they need this movie to succeed, which is why I suspect they only allowed about 30 or so critics from the more amenable websites and outlets to see it. If you notice, they're all saying the exact same things, and I put that video on film from Film Gob on my post. I'm smelling another Last Jedi here. How many times did we hear best Star Wars movie ever made from the same gang of idiots? Studios now are attempting to goose the RT ratings in order to drive audiences to movies. Now, some of you may be asking, what do they have to gain by doing this? The answer is access to future screenings. They get access to future screenings for more clicks, and the studio gets more positive reviews. And Rotten Tomatoes removed that comment from their discuss board. So apparently they don't want people at trying to voice a dissenting opinion
everywhere.
We are, aren't we? Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Like, so we're not gonna be invited to any early screenings. Yeah, the ghost of Jake Skywalker for 2 minutes. Oh, pay to play. This has been happening. Goosing the review scores has been happening for years. I mean, now I got a feeling it's just easier because unlike professional critics, you don't have to do much for right. the guys at Collider, for Grace Randolph. Just send them a goodie bag with a few things.
Well, yeah. Speaking of this whole Rotten Tomatoes thing, wasn't there a whole big controversy because the one negative review that they had, the people were like freaking out about it?
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
What was that all about?
I don't remember. I heard about it. I unfortunately, there was the one review one time. There was the one review last February about Black Panther. Somebody gave it a negative review, and everybody just kind of like, oh my! They clutched their pearls. Oh my word! Gave Black Panther a negative review.
Well, it wasn't a negative review. It wasn't 100% positive review.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I think it was whatever one it was that killed the 100% on the Rotten Tomatoes, and everybody was like flipping their shit or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody kind of lost their shit. What's Into the Spider-Verse doing on Rotten Tomatoes anyway?
I think it's down to like 96 or 94 now because of that one review.
Well, okay, 99. Actually, I'm looking at it right now. It's 99%. Yeah, this went from Picard series, but to Into the Spider-Verse discussion. That, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, 94% want to see it. 99% want to see it. Reviews counted 95. 94 fresh, 1 rotten. So I got a feeling, but like we always say, Rotten Tomatoes is an aggregator, but it's looking more and more now like they figured out how to game the system.
I miss good reviewers.
I do too.
Even though Ebert and Siskel were wrong sometimes, they at least weren't full of shit.
No.
Okay,
sometimes they didn't know what they were fucking talking about because they would refuse to go see certain movies, like when it came to the horror movie stuff. That shit aside, they at least weren't afraid to sit there and go, you know what? We're sick of the same old crap Hollywood is shoveling at us. It's sappy, it's bullshit, it's manipulative, it's whatever it is. They were never afraid to call it for what it was.
Okay, let me. I just gotta. Can I run down for a minute the reviewers who actually gave it a review? Well, their names are up here on the website on Rotten Tomatoes. You can see them. The different outlets. You have Miami. You have the Miami New Times, Indie London, Sunday Independent. That's out of Ireland. The World of Real, which is I think a website. Hannah Houlihan. Who the fuck is Hannah Houlihan? Who the fuck is this? With witty storytelling, level characters, and solid laugh out loud moments, it's a fresh, exciting take on
character.
The familiar
she probably has
narrative.
A blog. They also have blogs.
Christ, Julian Rome of Movie Web, Associated Press, Rachel Leishman from the Mary Sue.
Oh, that woman.
Yes.
I know her. Oh no, I mean a video with her.
The movie has a lot of heart, and you'll find yourself crying more often than you think. But it's hands down the best Spider-Man movie ever made.
Oh, that woman, that Rachel Leishman is the one who went on Twitter and said something about, I don't want to hear any men's hot takes on the Captain Marvel trailer, and wrote a bitch fest on the Mary Sue when men came after her on Twitter and said, hey, we are allowed to have opinions, you stupid woman. Oh, man.
Now, I'm not saying this, but how many tweets after that were like, I'm going to take a hot take on your face or some shit like that?
Probably a lot. Well, she said she had like 700 tweets in response to her. Yeah. So,
and then she's like, all like, oh, that's sickening. That's sexual harassment. Who said I was going to do it that way? You didn't specify what kind of hot take.
Exactly.
Okay. The one negative review
is going way bad tonight. I gotta be good.
The one negative review is from a guy named Roger Moore, not the former Bond actor who sadly known, but he was a syndicated columnist. He hates everything. So that's jerky, motion blurred, action.
That's what I was complaining about.
Clever conceit ruined by sloppy animation.
Yep. And a bunch of to me, everything I've seen looks like one of those cheap non-Disney animated movies where everything's just slapstick after quick cut, after slapstick, after loud noise, after quick cut. You can't even say it as fast as it happens in the scenes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's really bad slapstick too. It gets to the point where it's just like, oh my god, this is.
Yeah, I know. To me, I keep saying it looks like a PS2 video game cutscene. Complete with the low frame rate
and the bad voice acting,
and flat animation. But let me go. Just a couple more of these. Okay, something called Lyle's Movie Files. Jeffrey Lyles. Little White Lies, what the Prairie Dog Magazine, ChrisStruckman.com, okay, Slant Magazine. What are these alternative lens? What are these?
These are just vlogs or blog
Yeah.
sites or whatever.
But I'm beginning to understand New York Magazine and Vulture, Time Out, which is Time Out New York. The films, yeah. Okay, I'm seeing the Forbes. Okay, Mark Hughes from Forbes. Okay, that's Big Picture Sound. I mean, like I said, these are all movie blogs. Black Girl Nerds, Catalina Coombs. The film gives you past, present, and future Spider-Man. It's nothing short of awesome. It's the best parts of Spider-Man wrapped up into one fine-tuned package. But we're consequence of sound. I mean, we're seeing a pattern emerge here. These are all websites and blogs that they probably I don't want to say that they did this outright, okay, but I'm having the sneaking suspicion that they sought out all these reviewers in an effort to goose the ratings for this movie.
I didn't hear Captain April's bringing up. I didn't hear Variety. I didn't hear THR. I didn't hear EW. I didn't hear Rolling Stone.
Guardian is one. That's one, but they're really woke.
It's like with the new She-Ra when they gave out they had like the Mary Sue give them an early review and it's like they only wanted to give these to the sites that they knew would give them the positive review based on the wokeness of the quality of the film and not the quality of the film.
That's why Grace Randolph and
Hollywood
Black Nerd or whatever he's called.
And all them Hollywood Reporter. Okay, there's a review up there. Okay, Darren Franich from Entertainment Weekly, he gave it a B- though.
Yeah, like Blasted Health said, they had to dumb down Peter Parker to make Miles Morales look good. See, here's the thing: I have no issue with them making an animated Miles Morales movie, and anybody and even if I do end up not liking the movie, or if I do, it don't matter. You know, the point is they're just going to sit there and say that we don't like it because, you know, it's Miles Morales and it's not a white guy and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just going to turn around and say, look, you can say that, but all you're telling me is with having all these other Spider-Men and women in the movie is Miles Morales can't carry a movie by himself.
I've been saying that.
Telling me.
And I've been saying that for years.
Exactly. Well, yeah, you've been saying that they'll never make a Miles Morales movie because Peter Parker is Spider-Man, basically, in so many words.
Yeah.
And he can't carry a movie on his own because not enough people know who he is. Mm-hmm. And like him or hate him, and that is true. You ask most people who Spider-Man is, they're going to say Peter Parker. And if you go, well, do you know the other one? They're going to go, which other one?
I didn't know there was another one until hearing so much about this movie. And I am that casual, everyday kind of moviegoer. No, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. You don't know that there are other ones. That you didn't know that there's a Spider-Verse. You know, it's especially like the Big Bang audience too. Like a lot of the modern geeks are the Big Bang Theory audiences, and they don't really go any deeper.
I knew about Spider-Man, Miguel O'Hara, you know,
right.
But a lot of those is a lot of the other Spider-Men or Spider people, and those didn't last very long. Yeah, I'm a comic book guy. Yeah,
and this is what I'm glad Random said what she did, because that brings me to my point is I want to hear people like Rob's point of view, guys who are really into Spider-Man, Andre's point of view.
Yeah. You're gonna get it soon.
Oh, I'm sure. And I mean, I'm a Spider-Man fan, but I know you guys are much bigger and more, ingrained into the, whole, comic verse of Spider-Man than I am. So those are the kind of people I want to hear your guys' opinions on this. Not some Joe no-name nobody who didn't know who Miles Morales was until they saw this movie,
and who are only liking it because it's woke.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it looks like we are going to be seeing this movie though. We conferred with the boss, and he would like us to see it. Right? Isn't that right, Tom?
I guess it sounded like it. It is Spider-Man, so. Yeah,
Chris Persia. Yeah, thanks for bringing up Miguel O'Hara. He was great, same as Monica Rambeau, the first female Captain Marvel. Yeah, Monica Rambeau was Captain Marvel when I was reading in the 80s. When I was reading Marvel comics, She was in the Secret Wars. She had a big part to play in the Secret Wars.
I mean, I would sit there and argue that the only out of all the comic book characters, the only ones that anybody knows that there's more than one version of is probably Green Lantern.
Yeah. Well, just because there's 3,600 of them.
Well, not just that. It's just that, between John Stewart and
Guy Gardner, Kyle Rayner, and Alan Scott, the Golden Age Green Lantern. And Hal Jordan.
Between Hal Jordan and John Stewart, those two are just synonymous with the role for, because you do have, two different characters in the role, but one happened to fill in and become almost as famous as the other, is what I'm trying to say, or just as prominent or famous. You don't have that very often otherwise.
Yeah.
You're not going to have somebody else come in and be Batman and anybody else go, oh, there's another Batman besides Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Azrael was Batman. Jean-Claude Valley was Batman. But at the same time, the whole point of that storyline was that Batman was in one of those ridiculous-looking Todd McFarlane Spawn-esque outfits. The whole point of that was Batman should not be like this.
So Azrael Gargamel's cat?
No. There's a character. There's a character in DC Universe, Azrael.
See, this is your average normie movie-going audience member. But I'm done. I remember the cat from Smurfs, so.
Azrael, get them, Azrael.
That's not bad. I was gonna do it too, but you do better than I would.
Well, it's because I got a sore throat. I mean, that's why. Tonight I shall dine on Smurf stew. I not for nothing, but I always hated those little blue fuckers. I really did.
I was one of those kids that felt like Smurfs was forced upon me.
I like Smurfs.
I like them, don't get me wrong, but like when I was a kid, they were like, I just have to like them because everybody else does, kind of thing.
Yeah.
My mom would get me all the collectibles because I remember like McDonald's would get like 100 of them for like the little figurines.
I loved them. Yeah. So I'm later on, it was the mid 90s, but I was much more like Animaniacs. I'm like, hey, where's this been all my life?
Yeah, I loved Animaniacs.
Well, cartoons did get like a little
racier. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there was a period there because when after they hit that, it was probably around that time where they said, "Oh, you can get away with more by not." They didn't have to adhere to certain things as much, even more so than they did before that, and they can get away with more and being on. And then you had cable come in, and I think they pulled back the reins a little bit on the kid rules because, like, remember G.I. Joe and He-Man and all those used to have a little tag on the end.
Yeah, to make it educational.
What we learned in this episode, kind of thing. Yeah, and they had to have that. Like it was stipulated by, I think, law, if not FCC law.
Well, that's so it could qualify as educational programming.
Well, and that was because at that time, each station was required to carry X amount of programming every week for kids, and it had to be educational. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
But then they loosened up the reins, and they're like, okay, you can have things now that are related to toys, because before that, you could not. And the only reason they got away with doing like Mego dolls of like Superman and all them, even though there was cartoons, was because they were a comic book first. That's how they got around that. But then they loosened up the reins, and that's why the 80s were all just 30-minute commercials.
Yeah. Oh my!
But they were good 30-minute commercials, though, for the most part.
A lot of the new shit now, some of it.
Watch it. Years ago, a couple years ago, somebody gave me for my birthday G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, the first couple miniseries. Remember those? The Weather Dominator and the Mass Device. I don't know if you remember those. Watch them now. They are atrocious. Oh my god! they are.
There's a lot of stuff that does not age.
No, this is aged horribly. Oh my goodness, this is terrible.
I think Thundercats aged pretty bad, and
yeah.
Well, and I was the first one to say that She-Ra, it didn't even age well, or He-Man didn't, but they went the wrong direction with She-Ra. They needed to go and do what they did in the early 2000s with, or whatever it was, mid 2000s, whatever, with He-Man.
Yeah. So did we get another super chat? Did we miss that?
Yeah, there was
yeah. Yes.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Who gave us?
I put it in chat. I put it in chat here.
Oh, Adam Wofford. Lucasfilm was $2 super chat. Thank Lucasfilm. Thank you very much. Lucasfilm. Blah. Lucasfilm is so fucked up and incompetent.
Oh no, that's the super chat is up underneath it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you guys seen the new Godzilla trailer? Yes. I just watched it before. Yes, we have seen
You
the
were
new
just
God.
reading.
You're reading my my editorial on the article I linked you guys.
Well, it's not that bad.
So,
I think we mentioned that anyway.
yeah.
Oh no! Say he's got to go.
Go
Godzilla!
That actually is a good segue because we were going to talk about it anyway. I
Yeah.
fucking loved this trailer. I messed my pants.
Yes, it's very good. It's a very good trailer. And I'm not that huge Godzilla fan, but I'm like, even like, I was like, wow, they really did this right.
Yeah, it looks
Oh,
good.
fuck
It looks
yes.
really good.
I always laugh though. You always see like the army that got the guns, they're shooting at it. I'm like, yeah, like that's gonna do anything. Come on.
It's always
guys.
fun, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like in the first movie when he's like, let them fight. It's like, what are you going to do? Just try and stop them.
They're gonna do what they do.
Right? It's like, stay the fuck out the way. Just
Yeah.
let shit go down.
Yeah. I did like that line in the trailer. It says, so you're suggesting Godzilla becomes our pet? No, we become his.
That was good, yeah. And
That
you
was-
know, yeah, and Random and I were talking a little bit about if maybe that one Japanese girl is going to take the place of like the twins with Mothra and shit like that, or if they're even going to have a character like the twins. And but what we've got to see of all the creatures looks amazing, or the kaiju, whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm. Well, they gave us a little more of Mothra, which is what probably my favorite is Mothra. They gave us some more of, I think, a little more Rodan, maybe not too much. They're really not showing much. They gave us a lot of King Ghidorah, though. They showed how he
See,
moves,
he's
like,
my favorite outside.
yeah,
Godzilla.
and you have him like, oh, I love them all. I love them all. But
Whatever it is.
you have the scale of Ghidorah.
Well,
next
it's
to
king,
Godzilla.
so it'd be a boy, I guess.
Yeah.
I used to like Gamera.
Gamera's fun. Well, that's a different universe, though.
Oh, okay. Well, but anyway, as far as the kaiju, I used to like Gamera.
There wasn't Gamera like the answer to Godzilla from some other company or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Big old turtle. Big old nuclear powered turtle.
This is why the Gamera movies are public domain, because they were a different company.
Yeah, I think
Really?
so. Yeah, and they've never, I don't think they've ever combated.
So anyway, so the Godzilla trailer looks really good. When is that coming out? Next
Summer.
May.
Summer?
Yeah, May. Spring.
Yeah. Spring, fall, winter, summer, winter, spring.
Love you, Gamera.
Winter, spring, summer, or fall. So anyway, what else we got to talk about here?
Yes, Dynamo Mothra was always good, and that's where I said maybe that one Japanese girl is going to have like the psychic connection with Mothra, and maybe vicariously that's how they talk to Godzilla.
She could be
Because in
named
the old movies, the creatures would, later in the films, they would talk to each other. And shit.
She could be named Fukmi or Fukyu.
Fukumi no Fukuyu.
And yes, Gamera was a different company. It was made by DAIEI Films, and it was let's see, it was a rival to the success of Toho's Godzilla, or it was initially produced to rival Godzilla.
That's what I said.
Yep.
Toho.
Ding ding ding. One for Tom.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't Toho. I just didn't know exactly.
I always say Toho wrong. I always say Tahoe.
Love Tahoe. Tahoe. Yeah. So what? So anyway, Godzilla looks really cool. So what else we got to talk about?
Godzilla.
Whoa, no. Say he got to go.
We heard what Mothra sounds like.
Yeah,
That was
and
cool.
Godzilla go goes. You got to see Godzilla do some rage shit in this fucker.
Yeah.
I used to call Rodan Rogaine when I was.
Rodan for men.
Rodan with minoxidil? No.
Yes, Rodan with minoxidil. Yeah.
That's a hairy motherfucker.
The pterodactyl and Joust I thought was called Rodan. Remember the game Joust?
Yes.
I think that was Rodan.
Okay, Nathan Box wants us to talk about MIB International. I like the cast, but I know it's being made to just more so appeal to overseas crowd because the last film did better overseas than it did here. And I'm pissed off that they keep telling Ed Sullivan that the movies have never made any money. He would be one of the original writers on the first film. So, and I've kind of been in a little bit of correspondence with him. Hopefully we can talk to him soon about that.
Not interested. No, I think if there's a worse actress than Sonequa Martin Green in Star Trek Discovery, it's Tessa Thompson.
I like her though. You don't. I do. I actually like her. I don't know why
Yeah,
you
I
don't.
like her. I like her.
I think she's hot as hell, and she's a decent actress. So
yeah, I think I'm more crushing on her than maybe
And I
how
like-
good of an actor she is.
well, that could be too for me. But I thought her and Hemsworth had good chemistry in Ragnarok. I feel that chemistry will probably carry over here. I could be wrong. I'm looking forward to the movie. I'm just pissed at the representation and the way Sony's been treating people. And we have this whole thing I'm kind of trying to work on in the background where it's a common thing where in Hollywood they tell us that these movies are big hits, but then they turn around and tell all the people who actually made them when it comes to residuals that I'm sorry, it's losing money. Literally, I'm not making that shit up. They have been telling people that these movies are losing money, still losing money. And that's why they can't pay residuals on them. This is why one of the reasons why Peter Jackson had to go to court over Lord of the Rings, for instance.
Yeah. It seems like
Warner Brothers wanted to claim that Lord of the Rings didn't make any money.
Yeah.
It seems like the biggest series in history has not made any money.
Yeah. I was about to say it seems like remember I always say the movie industry is actually becoming the music industry. That's been a frequent thing in the music industry for a long time.
That's nothing to kill the music industry. They want to tell you, they want to sit there and tell you it was piracy. No, it wasn't.
No, the music industry killed itself.
It was because these fucking musicians were living with less money than what most of you listening probably make in a year.
Paul Westerberg, the guy who was in the Replacements, he said that he would, when he was out on tour, the guy carrying his amps would make more than he was, which was sad.
That's no joke. It's true because they'll sit there and they'll say, "Oh, well, you have no money left because of this and this expense and that expense and this expense and that expense." And so by the time it gets done, like I said, that's no joke. You'd be lucky if some of these musicians make $20,000, $30,000 a year when it comes to certain things. And that's why a lot of them have gone out on their own. Certain acts, that's the only way they make money is if they're doing concerts and shit.
Yeah.
Because record sales don't pay for nothing. At least they never used to. Now artists have more access. That's the one good thing about digital is that the artist has more access to the money than and they can cut out the middleman.
Well, you know what too now, and kind of like the music industry now the movie industry, the dollar figures are publicly reported now, and so someone like Peter Jackson, years ago, you had no idea how much a movie made. You know, maybe it would be on the news, but now you have Box Office Mojo, you have all kinds of things, and they track the receipts, and now you can see, you know, like I said, Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet. It's made $250 million or something over the last few weeks. Yeah, it's only natural someone's going to ask if they're not getting anything. Hey guys, where's the money? You know, where'd the money go?
Right, and usually only the top percentage get their money. The rest don't. The little guys don't.
No, I imagine like the carpenters get paid. The carpenters
you get paid up front.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about writers. I'm talking about directors. I'm talking about, you know, people who put a lot of time and effort into these movies and do deserve residuals, like Ed Sullivan, who I brought up. If you don't know who he is out there, he's one of the guys who created Bill and Ted. He was one of the writers on Men in Black and several other films, and he recently tweeted out that Sony is telling him that he hasn't been getting residuals on Men in Black because it's losing money at an existential rate. That was his quote, yet they're making a fourth film.
That takes stones. That takes stones to make that claim. It really does.
Well, they do this all the time, and this is why we remind people that even though it says a movie made $200 million, and this is kind of in the studio's defense, and it's true, but they use this as an excuse not to pay people, is that yes, they don't get all that money, plus movies cost more than what you see on the page or on the website or whatever. Because it may say the budget was $80 million, but they also spent $80 million on advertising.
It's usually the rule of thumb is take whatever the budget is and then double it for advertising and marketing. Yeah.
For an average movie, generally about half to or close to the budget of the film is enough. But when you're looking at these big tentpole movies, like I know that was one of the big problems with Ghostbusters is they spent way too much money not only on the movie but advertising.
Well, yeah, they had like advertising deals with everything from Papa John's to back to Ecto Cooler again. Yeah.
Well, see, now some of those I'm not sure about because I think some of those advertising deals they actually get money from them.
Oh,
What
yeah,
I'm
that's
talking
true.
about is actual ad campaigns on because television campaigns and these Super Bowl ads and football
Yeah.
ads and stuff like that aren't cheap. You're looking at, a Super Bowl. What is a Super Bowl ad now, Rob? Like $2-3 million for 30 seconds?
Yeah, it's
Five?
Yeah,
bananas.
about that. Yeah. Yeah, it's about $3 million for a 30-second ad.
Yeah, I know it goes up all the time. So I mean, right there, that's $3 million you're slamming down. That's the budget of a small budget movie right there in some areas, in some ways. Especially now with the way digital is and all that kind of crap.
You can make Clerks for about 30 times for that
More than
amount of
that,
money.
probably. Well, the original
Yeah.
Clerks was 30 grand. And I
Okay,
think
so
Kevin Smith said after, because he did it all on credit card. So I think he said after all the, all the fees and all that kind of
Yeah.
crap. I think he said it was like between 35 and 38,000.
so yeah, so you can make Clerks about 300 times for that amount of money.
Well, and now you could do Clerks in color for half that 30 grand. Probably.
Just put it on your phone.
That's
You
what I'm
just
saying.
on your cell phone.
That's what I'm saying is now with technology now, and Kevin Smith has said this, you can make Clerks for $1 and it'd look 10 times better than he ever did back in the day because, he had to pay, he did it on black and white because the color lights were so expensive to do color film. So he opted to go with black and white. Well, now, like he said, he could film it on his iPhone.
Yeah.
And it would look 10 times better than it did on the 16 millimeter black and white,
Like we always say, and like I said in one of my videos about the whole Axonar thing, the barrier to making movies, the barrier of entry to making movies has been reduced so significantly. In that, you can raise money on Kickstarter, and you can get an iMac for $1,200, and it already has, or even less used, and it already has Final Cut Pro on it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, and the cameras are dirt cheap, and the internet has a lot of editing programs. You can get a free edition of Lightworks, which a lot of Hollywood movies are actually edited on. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but you can get a free version of it.
Right. Well, and I even kind of got into it yesterday or day before with a vicarious friend of the channel's Robert Meyer Burnett, and because we were going and talking a little bit about the Star Trek Blu-rays, and I know for a fact there's people out there that are willing to work on it now because it's so easy to do this shit now compared to what it used to be. And we kind of just argued about how much it would cost to get it Deep Space Nine and Voyager updated for HD. And I don't think it would cost as much as he thinks, because I think between the way technology is updated and what people are willing to do to help out, I think they could cut that in half. Pocket Jacks Comics, another $5. I make a poorly written movie as well. We have a screening for Sparrow Creek in Dallas on January 18th. You guys are welcome to attend. Unfortunately, I live quite a ways away from Dallas, and so does Rob and Mecca, but otherwise I would definitely come.
Let me tell you, if I could, actually January 13th, that's the weekend of my birthday.
18th, actually, but yeah.
Yeah. My birthday's actually the 16th. Well,
it says 18th here.
Well, it's around that. Yeah. So no, too much information. But
well, if you're in the area, check that movie out.
like you can't find out what my birthday is on Facebook. People, it tells everybody. Jeez.
Well, that part I ain't talking about, but you said the 13th. It's the 18th, he said.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Regardless.
But like I said, we appreciate the information. Appreciate the invitation, and hopefully if you have an event up here in the New York area, or where Tom is in Wisconsin, or near Colorado, or where Random is, hopefully we can make it there. But what were we talking about? Making money. Oh, actually,
money.
Money. But speaking of making money, actually, you know what franchise does make a lot of money?
McDonald's.
Well, no. They need to make a lot of money, but you'll end up dead if you.
I haven't seen the poster yet for the Sonic movie yet, Nate and Box, but I do know they're pushing ahead with that pretty quickly. So I do expect the movie to be out next year, I think.
Mm-hmm. Actually, and this actually is you saw this guy in a movie recently. The Bond franchise makes a lot of money all over the world.
Dun, dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun.
When you
And
were young and your heart was an open book.
there's a familiar face actually told of being cast as the villain. And you saw him recently in a movie.
Mike Myers.
No. That
When
would
is
be
Dr.
bitchy.
Evil ever going to be in a Bond movie?
I was already in a Bond movie, don't you remember? Yes. I was henchman number 2. Yes. I demand a little respect. So, but
John
anyway,
T-Net, thank you so much for the $100 Hong Kong donation. He says, according to available data, Warner Brothers has made about $42 to $52 million revenue off of Aquaman in China so far, depending on tax withholding. That's pretty damn good for a DC movie here.
okay, now John Tennant.
You mean that's the amount they get to take home from what they've made already? I think that's what they've done like 2 or 3 times that.
Now, John Tennant, you live over there. You live in that part of the world. How are they marketing Aquaman? What is the big draw? Is it Jason Momoa? Is it DC? What is the big draw for Aquaman over there? If you can enlighten us a little bit, because we don't get much of that.
I think because it's vibrant and it looks very anime, and Sons of Aquamanarchy is in it.
I mean, he's gonna put butts in the seats.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, moms all over. We're going to see, hey, we're going to see Aquaman. Mom, we saw it 3 times already. Shut up, you'll do as you're told.
Right. Lokta asks a good question. Doesn't the investors for the movie take most of, if not all of the profit for the movies? Well, the lion's share goes to the investors first, and whatever. It's all about percentages and points.
Yeah.
And there's a difference, of course, because they'll say, oh, you get 1 point or 2 points or 5 points. That's not a percentage. Now you want a percentage, of course, because the points is where they fuck you, I guess, from what I've heard. But yeah, of course, it's just kind of like, if you paid X amount of the budget, you get X amount of your money back plus whatever percentage after that is how it works. And then then it goes down the line as far as residuals go, and it's whatever the DGA or the WGA or whatever organization sets as the percentage for that. I'm not sure offhand, but
yeah, well, John Tennant says the big draw, to be honest, could be because there's been a fad about movies on ocean topics, including their recent local fantasy movies.
The Mermaid's gonna kill over there.
Yeah, the Meg was actually a Chinese production too.
That was until they screwed up and got Idris Elba to play Sebastian. He's like, Arya, listen to me. The human world is a mess. Life down here under the sea is better than anything they have up there. It's so deep now, it's like not even cool. He ruined it. He brought the movie down. Yes, I can see into the future, folks.
Yeah. So anyway,
they get a that's what happens in the other alternate universe.
So anyway, we were saying about
who he is, right?
Who?
Ahmad Best.
Oh yeah, Ahmed Best, Jar Jar. So we were saying Bond 25, they're actually going to be going into production, and Rami Malek is supposedly in line to play the villain. Now, actually, we had heard Helena Bonham Carter actually a while back.
When he kills people, is he going to go, another one bites the dust? Another one bites the dust.
Hey, he's going to sit by you. The other one rides the bus.
True story, Weird Al Yankovic recorded that in a fucking bathroom.
Yep.
Yeah.
I met him in a swamp down a Dago bar where he bubbles all the time like a giant carbonated soda. So anyway, Rami Malek.
Somebody, if they remember out there, tell me it was either the bathroom across the hall from Dr. Demento's studio or the bathroom at his college dorm. Can't remember which.
I thought Another One Rides the Bus was recorded live on Dr. Demento's show.
There was, yeah, so it might have been the bathroom across the hall from him. Yes, that's what I thought it was, yeah. Because they did it in the bathroom. I know that for the echo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So anyway, well, listen, back to the Bond story. This one actually comes to us from BBC America. Daniel Craig may be about to face off against Rami Malek in the next Bond movie, according to Variety. Producers are reportedly eyeing up the Mr. Robot star to play a Bond villain months after he wowed critics with his Oscar-tipped portrayal of Queen frontman Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody. We don't know much about this film's plot or characters yet, but Rami will be in good company if he takes the role. Christoph Waltz, Mads Mikkelsen, and Javier Bardem have all made their mark in recent Bond outings. While the Bond villain has traditionally been a figure almost as important as Bond himself ever since the franchise began, there's just one catch. Rami is supposed to start filming the last season of Mr. Robot in March, which is also coincidentally when production of Bond 25 is due to get underway under director Cary Fukunaga. I like that, Fukunaga. Surely a whiz kid like Elliot Anderson could figure out a way to make it work. If he does, he'll join a cast that includes Daniel Craig as 007, Ben Whishaw as Q, Naomi Harris as Moneypenny, and Ralph Fiennes as M, plus Lea Seydoux, who is reprising her Spectre role as psychologist Madeline Swan, and 2 actresses currently being cast in 2 key roles, an MI6 agent and a mystery woman. The as of yet unnamed Bond 25 is set to open in theaters on February 14th, 2020. Would you like to see Daniel versus Rami? I'm like, oh, okay, it doesn't really give me anything. Okay, so anyway. Okay, and BBC America was desperate for ratings because at the bottom of the page, Americans back Idris Elba to play Bond, and new survey finds. Yeah, well, they're not going to get their wish, so goes. So fuck you. So, stop with the Idris Elba. He's getting sick of it. So Rami Malek. Okay. All right.
Can we get Idris Elba to play Rami Malek?
Idris Elba is going to play. Idris Elba is going to play the older Michael B. Jordan in movies because he yes, and Idris Elba is going to play. Idris Elba is going to play Idris Elba in the Idris Elba story, and then Idris Elba is starring Idris Elba, which is written by Idris Elba, directed by Idris Elba, produced by Idris Elba. Yeah. Well, somebody's got a guitar. The Ballad of Idris Elba? Is that Idris Elba? Okay, no more Elba. We'll focus on Dinklage's head. Yes, Peter Dinklage. Yeah, Idris Elba's going to be playing Peter Dinklage as what's the guy midget dude from Game of Thrones? I don't watch it.
Tyrion Lannister.
Yes, Idris Elba's gonna be Idris Elba in blackface playing Peter Dinklage in blackface. Gino X 1987 Midnight's Edge After Dark. The whole Idris Elba for Bond thing started on a 4chan of them ironically casting him for everything. It's our like it's our joke.
No, we probably stole it from somebody.
Yeah, but. Yeah, like I said, Barbara Broccoli is not thinking that far ahead. Trust me on that. Yeah, I don't know Barbara Broccoli or Michael Wilson personally, but they like the foot. All they make is Bond movies, and they don't have several in the.
Does she have a little dog named Cheese?
I don't think so.
So every time somebody sees them, you can go, "Hey, there's Barbara Broccoli and Cheese."
What about cheddar? Well, we don't get much call for cheddar. Not much call for cheddar. It's the single most popular cheese in the world. Not around here, sir. I love how Matthew Goddard. I love how Barbara Broccoli had to assure investors that Bond would remain male to secure funding for Bond 25 and said there were no production problems on 25. Yeah. Like I said, that's all they do. And John Campea, who's an idiot, said, "Oh, the studio would be pressing for Idris Elba to play to James Bond." And I said,
"Where do we vote?"
Where do we vote? And I said that, and I responded to John Campea on Twitter saying about how the studio has no say over it. Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson control the Bond rights. They do the casting, and it is not up to the studio. It is up to them. Oh, but the studio would want this, and I said, Campea, shut up, you're an idiot. The studio has no influence over them, and as Sam Mendes said, it is not a popularity contest. The public doesn't get a vote. it's up to Barbara Broccoli. And Barbara Broccoli is a bit more conservative with the Bond casting than a lot of people would like to believe. And actually, there was actually a story floating around. A guy by the name of Richard Madden was supposed to be in the running. And like I keep saying, Barbara Broccoli's not thinking that far ahead. And you know, and a lot of people, some people will keep saying, I don't care how woke you are, but I keep saying about James Bond and people who want to update James Bond. I'm like, no, let's not do this. James Bond is not supposed to be updated. Oh, but you need to bring Bond into the 21st century. I'm like, no, you don't. The whole idea is the character. Tyler Bauschak, Rodriguez, Richard Madden, is Stark from Game of Thrones. I don't watch Game of Thrones, so I'll have to take your word for it. And I keep saying about how the whole idea with James Bond is that he's a throwback to the Cold War, and he's not supposed to. He's not supposed to be in the 21st century. He's supposed to be a hyper masculine male. He's supposed to be a heavy drinking, gambling.
He needs to be woke.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't need to be woke.
No more woke.
No more woke. Hashtag no more woke. Yeah.
Yes.
They had SJW Bond in the novels and comics. I doubt will work on film. No. What, Rob? You don't want James Bond to be bisexual, gender fluid, Wolfkin? No, Thunder Dan. No, it's perish the thought. But and I keep saying about how is okay. I'm gonna let this side out, and I keep saying this about Bond. Russia is a nation of 140 million people. 140 billion? Yeah, 140 Nathan Fillions. Russia is a nation of 140 million people. There are only approximately 40 to 70,000 Afro-Russians. How is a black man supposed to keep a low profile in a place in Moscow
because
with those kind of numbers? Because fuck you, movie.
Yeah.
I keep saying, men. Have I seen men? There's a British secret agent here. He's carrying state secrets. He's very dangerous. And he could compromise security for the motherland. We have orders to shoot him on sight. Now, are there any questions? Yes, you in the back. Alexei. Yes, sir. How will we recognize him? I just look for the black guy. So, and some people, and I've actually had some people, the more woke people say, well, why can't he blend in places like Africa or India? I mean, you think a white guy blends in easier? I'm like, but that's the character. He's not supposed to blend in Africa or India or in Hong Kong because he's a holdover from British colonialism.
Well, and here's one of those that I always give you, Rob. Like, you and I will get into it once in a while on whether or not you can make any, like, one of these characters one color or another. I generally say it doesn't matter as long as you don't change who the character is. James Bond is one of those characters that almost has to be the same character no matter what age, because if you start to change who James Bond is, then you're changing who James Bond is.
Yeah.
Like, the moment you start to just change, you know, oh, let's make him a woman, or let's make him black, let's make him Asian, let's make him whatever, you know, as soon as you start doing that, you're really changing inherently who the character is, and important to, because he's important to, like you said, he's part of that culture and that.
Yes, he's he is not supposed to be a 21st century man. He is not supposed to be an iPhone checking, kale eating, vegan, you know, living in a gentrified flat in the center of London. He's supposed to be an old school spy, a blunt instrument. That's what the character is. And, you know, I remember it was a big deal in The Living Daylights when he only had sex with one woman. Or like, so
yeah,
you know.
now they'll throw a fit if he sexually harasses somebody or compliments her shoes even.
The name's Woke, James Woke. I like some of these titles. Woke Finger, Moonwaker, Moonwaker.
I was gonna say some of these are really good. I was gonna tell you, yeah.
Hipster Rob, just say it. Yeah. He's waiting in line overnight for the Apple store. Say, Says Q gave me this voucher for the new iPhone. It's a special model.
Better yet, give us
I can't unlock this.
Give us some woke Bond women names, because instead of like a lot of vagina and all that kind of stuff, they're gonna be. Well, I know that was Austin Powers one, but they're gonna be like woke names.
The man with the woken
ceiling.
Yeah, the man with the woken gun, glass ceiling. Yeah. What else?
Independent woman.
Yeah.
Single mom.
Or something representation, probably, because they say that all the damn time.
Equa
representation. Oh god.
Wokey galore.
Wokey guy. I love it. Yeah, I love these names. Keep them coming.
You're basically quoting the entire YouTube rewind.
Skywoke.
Skywoke. That's it. Madam Woke. Instead of M, it's W. What for woke? But yeah, yeah. Like I said, though, the world is not woke enough. But like I said, certain characters, like you said, you start pulling the thread and a whole.
Miss No means no.
Miss No means no. Yeah. Doctor No means no. Doctor No means no.
There you go. Oh shit.
Was this misgender fluid? Actually, Bond was woke. They did have a transsexual as
Single mom has a blog.
Yeah. They did woke her. Yeah, like Spectre woked her. They did have a transsexual girl. Woke and I. What else? Wake Another Day.
The world is not woken up.
Yeah. Woken high. The world's not woken up. Yeah. Actually, I did have a feminist one time when I didn't know she was a raging feminist. She said, "Hey, what's going on?"
There's a good name for one.
No, Mr. Bond. Yeah, the raging feminist. James Bond battles raging feminist. But she was a raging feminist, and I had no idea she was, because she seemed all right, and it was around the time The World Is Not Enough was in theaters, and I was at the bar. Hey, what's going on? Hey, how you doing? She said, "So what are you doing tonight?" I said, "Well, I was thinking about going see the new Bond movie, but I think I can put that off tomorrow." "Oh, I can't believe you like that sort of thing. Oh my God. It is just," and she started throwing every ist and ism at me.
Oh God.
"What do you like about that anyway?" I said, "I like the cool cars. I like the exotic locations. I like the action. I like, and I like, the intrigue and international espionage." And she really was like, "Oh my God, you should be better off downloading porn on the internet." I was like, "Now that you mention it."
No, I'd have just turned around and said, "I like it for everything you just bitched about."
Yeah, that's pretty much what I said. I like it for everything you hate about it. Octopatriarchy. Yes, octopatriarchy.
Oh shit! The patriarch sounds like a bad guy right there. Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Oh no, patriarch. We meet again. Yeah, the James Bond faces his
eyes are up here, sir.
Yeah. Oh man. But anyway, so that's the Bond news.
Let me get to know you.
Yeah. And
Bond was destroyed by sexual harassment. The Me Too movement kills Bond.
Yes, 007, come in and sit down for a moment. We've had several complaints from HR regarding your behavior.
Oh,
so what do you have to say for yourself, 007?
Sometimes you got to smack a bitch.
Well, this kind of behavior is intolerable. So that's why we have our new on what do we call it? Our new sensitivity trainer, Miss Holly Goodhead. No jokes, please, Bond.
Holly Goodhead.
Yes, Miss.
It was jolly good head for me.
Moneypenny, please buzz in Molly Goodhead.
I thought her name was Holly.
Oh, don't you? We don't have the money for an extra H.
Oh, Jesus. Going off
yeah.
I didn't know I was supposed to be Bond there for a second. Oh, shit.
Problematic finger. Problematic finger.
Oh, God.
You're putting that finger where?
You expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond. I expect you to accept women as your complete as your complete equal in every situation.
That's not what they want. They want women over men.
Bond has faced every enemy known to man, and now his greatest enemy ever he will ever face may be his undoing. I'm sorry, Mr. Bond. You've been hit with a sexual harassment suit.
Oh, no.
This is worse than my last suit. That was just a cheap one from Kmart.
License to woke. Yes, license to woke. Jolly good at. Well, anyway. What else we got to cover here? Not that this isn't the woman with the golden parachute, and yeah. Actually, you think about it, Bond's been the one franchise that has featured strong women all the time.
Well, that's just it. Either a lot of times his quote unquote Bond women either help him out or they double cross him or whatever. You know, I've never even seen the movies and I know the cliches.
Mhm.
And that's one of the cliches is that they always play an integral part. Because isn't that kind of like the whole twist with what's her face in the third Indiana Jones? Because again, that was like the whole inspiration for Indiana Jones is that Lucas wanted to do a Bond movie, but he couldn't get his hands on it. So he's like, fuck it. I'm going to make a movie kind of like Bond, but it's going to have, the archaeologist type guys that were in all the adventure movies when I was a kid.
Yeah, the one enemy Bond can't beat. Me Too, the Me Too movement.
That's what I'm saying. Yes. It's the end of Bond forever.
Bond. He goes, Bond. And the Bond versus the patriarchy or whatever, yeah. The Bonds go for gender reassignment, yeah. Miss Manspreading. Bond versus Seneca Martin Green. Yeah, Bond versus Mikey Spock. Brother. The possibilities are limitless. But that's the other thing too, That's the other thing too. You can have a lot of fun with it too. And he opens the door for someone. I don't need no man to open a door for me. Well, when I'm from this, just called common courtesy. I guess some women don't appreciate being treated like a lady. He have a lot of fun with that. Excuse me. And he says, she rattles on about the patriarchy and being independent. And it's like, if I open a door for you, you're still independent. I'm just showing you. I'm just being polite, as a good gentleman should be.
Well, and ask yourself, why is Sean Connery ever Bond? Why was Pierce Brosnan ever Bond? Not just because of guys, because women liked them too. That's the thing that none of these people even stopped to think about. That women found that sexy and arousing too.
Exactly. Women don't want like the weak, pathetic man. They want the intrigue and the mystery and the adventure. That's why they go after like the spies or the.
It's in every one of those fucking novels too. They're always a spy or a criminal or a or whatever. The type of guy they'll slap and they'll grab them and kiss them instead of hitting them.
A biker or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Why do you think 50 Shades of Grey was so successful?
Dog, and that really pisses me off at how look at HBO now. It was like, okay, they took away all their erotic entertainment, but yet they still have all the 50 Shades of Grey on there. That's okay.
Well, that's because it's not erotic.
Bullshit. I mean, yeah, it's boring as fuck. But it's a housewife's fucking fantasy of what BDSM is all about when it's totally off the mark. But anyway.
Yeah.
Ladies, if you're out there, if you're reading 50 Shades of Grey, you're wasting your time. I mean, and back then you have the story of Erica Young, Fear of Flying.
Yes, it is boring erotic, Tyler. I watched the first film and I said to myself, how could you ever make a movie about BDSM that is this fucking boring? It is just shit ass boring. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just middle of the road fucking boring as fuck. Nothing happens for most of the movie.
You know why? Because it was written as Twilight fan fiction.
Well, yes, but it's like it is. It's just this overly fucking never gonna happen fucking fantasy that is boring as hell. That only women who have this fantasy of getting with this really exotic fucking rich guy that doesn't exist out there for them because he's either already fucking married, ugly, or gay. And I'm not even gonna get in on the shit, you know.
Well, it's not only that; it's the women who would never look like Dakota Fanning in their, or not Dakota Fanning, Dakota Johnson, or either of them really in their lives, and that would want this guy. So they hire these really pretty actors that all the women can fantasize about. And yeah, like they would never get that in their real lives because, you know, they look like the woman who wrote the book, who is basically a middle-aged, overweight British housewife.
Oh, I didn't want to say that, but you did.
You did.
That right. So,
and there's nothing wrong with that. And you know, if you are that, be that and be happy about it and be proud of it. And you know,
I don't have an issue with them getting their rocks off on the shit.
No.
That doesn't bother me, but it's hypocrisy that HBO is going to take off all their erotic entertainment, but yet that shit's still okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the Star Wars writer who was flashing off her golden dildo or vibrator or whatever on fucking line, and that's not getting any notice at all. But what James Gunn did 6 years ago was enough to fire his ass. That kind of shit, just to me, that double standard is bullshit. I'm sorry, you work for Disney, it should go both ways. You know, that's the only way some of these SJW people are going to fucking learn, is if they're held to the same fucking standards. That's kind of what James Gunn really was. He was being held to the same standards that he was holding the people that he was bitching and griping about politically. And so that I can't do anything and say anything against. You know, he got, you know, you can play with the fire. Sooner or later, you're going to get fucking burned. Mm-hmm. But why is she just be giving it a free pass over this? I don't care what the circumstances were. She works for a fucking family company. She should be held to the same damn standards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if some guy that works at Disney posted a picture of his blow-up doll or his fucking fleshlight, do you think he'd have a job tomorrow?
I just want to ask random a question as our token female representation here. When you see this whole trend of movies with these sort of safe kind of pretty boys, I mean, what is your take on that? I mean, because like I always say, back in the day, you actually had rugged, manly men, like Sean Connery, you know, that kind of thing. You know, in the '60s, and you know what I mean, the archetypical alpha male,
right?
And now you have sort of like the sort of soft kind of, I don't want to call them androgynous, but sort of, you know.
There's been a couple different kind of guys. I'm going to do this for you, Rob, real quick, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'll know you love this because I'm stealing part of it from an Eddie Murphy joke. Back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, this was the type of guy you had. A woman and guy would get in an argument in the car. The woman would be like, "Pull over, let me out." And he'd be like, "Oh no, now we'll have none of that." Okay, the 80s, 90s, women would be like, "Oh, that's enough. Now let me out. Let me out. I don't want to hear. Get the fuck out." Yeah, exactly. Nowadays it'd be like, "I'm sorry, honey, what is upsetting you? I'm sorry." This is the kind of guy they want, or so they say they want. Some timid little fucking, you know, mouse of a man while they're fucking around with the biker dude down the street. But they would never admit it, because then if they would, they'd be a hypocrite for even being into that type of guy, because that's, you know, the exact thing that they're trying to fight against. You know what I'm saying? It's just this, and that's exactly where this fucking 50 Shades of Grey comes from, and all this other bullshit. Anyway, finish your point.
But I was saying about how, like, we always hear about toxic masculinity. It's not toxic masculinity. It's just men being masculine a lot of times. You know, and you go see a movie about World War II, or you go see Indiana Jones, or you go see Batman. It's not toxic masculinity. Like, a guy's punching you in the face. What do you want? What do you expect me to do?
Exactly. They confuse masculinity with toxic masculinity. And it's like, okay, so what? I see all these guys. It's a great example of this is I don't know if anyone watches like the React channel and the Fine Brothers stuff, but anytime they have the YouTubers react, and it's like the YouTube couples, I can never. I'm always like just gobsmacked about every one of these heterosexual male-female couples where the guy I could swear is gay. I'm like, are you serious? He's with you.
Retro or bi, yeah. There's not that there's anything.
There's anything wrong with that. Girls like what they like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I certainly dated the stereotypical type in high school here and there too. But I think they are. We're kind of in this result of like the male feminists and the emasculation of society that we're kind of having this product of, you know, well, yeah, women are kind of rebelling. They're like, no, we want our bad boys back. Yeah, I know we can't change them, but you know, maybe let us fall down in our on our face and make our own mistakes because it's more fun and exciting, and it's less boring, and it's you know, and sometimes you want the boring and the stable. It just depends on what you're looking for and what point period of your life that you're in too.
Right. Well, and Dark Slayer says the soy boys. Yeah, they women are just. I don't know if it's just because y'all are lazy or you don't. It's not that what it is, because instead of it's I want to change him, it's I want to beat him down to submission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you get that from a lot of the commercials and TV. A long time ago I did I did a video where I was complaining about all these commercials with the kind of toxic femininity, to put it any other way, this false feminism where you have like these carpet cleaner commercials where they're like, oh, hello ladies, do you have pets and kids and a husband? And it's the way they say it and the way they ingrain it in the commercials and the advertising. And you know, you go to any workplace where you have a lot of women, they start trashing men, and they do that. It's so ingrained in female society that you don't even realize that, you know, that you start hearing that and repeating it because it just makes it into your subconscious, whether you feel that way or not. And it's accepted, and it's kind of disgusting and disturbing how it's so encouraged and accepted to basically beat up on men verbally and, you know, if not physically as well. But yeah, that's just kind of how things have progressed lately.
Actually, I actually said about how Thunder Danny Action Man, anything can be classified as toxic masculinity. Me saying I was a Marine, that's toxic masculinity. However, if a female colleague says that says it, then she's just a strong and independent woman. Yeah.
Well, and it goes to also what we've been talking about, and Doomcock just did a video about the song, you know, Baby It's Cold Outside, and you know, all that stuff we're talking about, where they're just, it's not just with masculinity or men or anything, it's everything. They've got to, you know, I used to be more of a liberal leading person, and it's like it's gotten to the point where I'm afraid to even say anything like that anymore, because I don't want to be associated with some of these people who are just so against everything. It's like, you're offending me because so-and-so would be offended by this. It's like, well, let's ask so-and-so if they're offended first before you get offended for them.
Yeah.
And it's the thing that I figured out, a lot of these people that are doing this, it's just the easiest way to be an activist and not have to get up off your fucking ass.
Yeah. Hashtag activism. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Rudolph offends me.
Rudolph offends me. Everything offends me. If something makes me uncomfortable, it should be illegal. Remember the whole thing with the Family Guy? Right. Keyboard Warriors, Thunder Danny Action. You know, it was so funny though. Like I said, I mean, you see, like, and I saw the cover, something about on Hollywood Reporter, the cast of Silicon Valley. You know, the rise of the beta male. I'm like, if that's what's rising, I'm like, please, you know, we need to squash that right away. Actually, I said one time, this is actually a good story. I have a particular lady friend of mine. I said to her one time, I said, can I ask you a question? I asked her
anymore, Rob.
Was that?
She's a strong, independent woman who happens to be your friend. She's not a lady friend.
Well, whatever.
I gotta fuck with you. You know.
Yeah, I know. But I said to her, can I ask you a question? She goes, sure, go ahead. I said, I've noticed something a lot of times. It says, and there was a Rodney Dangerfield joke about this. I said, well, I notice a lot of Jewish women like me for some reason. I wonder why. And she goes, she points at her friend, this other guy, this Jewish guy. He's, you know, kind of like he's like a Silicon Valley type, you know. He goes, see that? That's a Jewish man. He's like a little like Woody Allen type of guy. And she goes, you're manly. You're rugged. You can fix things. He goes, a lot of Jewish women like that. And there's a joke about Rodney Dangerfield. These girls from Brooklyn don't fool me. They go out with Vinny for 5 years and then they marry Irv. He's a good provider. Know what I mean?
Well, see, here's the thing. At least there's some
areas
there where, Rob, women are actually trading up when it comes to you.
Oh, please.
I had to fuck
but there's that. Henry Cavill became my Superman for having the balls to say what he said. Of course, he had to apologize for public sake. But there's something to that, though. I mean, despite all these portrayals of like the little meek kind of, beta males, I really do think, and this whole toxic masculinity discussion, I really do think deep down women do, unless they're lesbians, they want a traditionally masculine kind of guy, and and I don't think there's anything wrong with portraying that, like Jason Momoa in Aquaman. I think we're going to see a return to that.
Well, you can find a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Micah.
I was just gonna say, it kind of comes down to evolution. We evolved to want to be protected by the biggest, strongest, baddest, who could protect the tribe, because a lot of the times, you would have we very much were like lions in that respect. You would be protected by the big, bad, strong guy. So yeah, that's why it's ingrained in our DNA.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's not. You're not wrong, because the way that we have progressed in our lifestyle, and not just the way we live it financially and technologically, but emotionally and in relationship wise. Because you're right. Because ever since Western civilization happened, the reasons and why women get married have changed so drastically and dramatically. And yes, guys have changed too. And I've seen some people that are arguing to the other side of some of the things I said earlier. But there's a happy medium there you can find in those 3 different stories that I told. And the happy medium is not a guy who's a nebbish little, beat down, browbeaten, wuss, but he doesn't have to be a jerk off either. You can find a happy medium. It's like, look, we got an issue. Let's talk about this like adults, and be, and find a happy medium where people are on equal plane, instead of, the man's the man of the house, or the woman's the one who's the man of the house now. This kind of thing needs to stop. It's like a tit for tat thing that's going on in every aspect of and that's why it keeps coming up, because it's bleeding into entertainment now. And politics don't help, because now you have households and family members who are just going at each other's throat over politics and everything. And fans have always fought over bullshit. The internet just put a magnifying glass to it. We've always said that. That's nothing new. This toxic fandom is a bunch of horse shit made up by the media. It's always been there. We have always been picky about our entertainment. Trust me. We have always noticed everything they got wrong in every Star Trek movie before.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just now we can talk about it on the internet. That's the thing. Hello, is this thing on?
Yes, and now we also have the ability to talk directly to the people who make the bad entertainment. So I think that they were so sheltered and protected way back when, that they didn't always get the instant feedback. They would go for a while not knowing that there was anything wrong with it. Now I could tweet directly at Rian Johnson, and there's a good chance, if I'm not blocked, that he would actually respond to me. If I told him, hey, your movie was kind of stupid. I mean, and the more insulting you are, the more of a chance you'd have a provoking response, because that's kind of how we are in society anymore. We are not quite able to understand the progression, the rapid progression of how things have changed so quickly in our lifetimes. In our lifetimes, we would have never been able to talk to a celebrity.
Let's ask Rian Johnson if he would respond to Ryan. Would you respond to Mecha Random's tweets if she tweeted at you, if your movie telling your movie sucked?
My movie doesn't suck though.
but she thinks it sucks.
No, she's wrong.
But a lot of people are saying your movie sucks, Mr. Johnson.
Who are these people?
Check out Twitter. I mean, your movie only made $700 million less than the last Star Wars movie. I mean, don't you think there's something wrong?
Like I'm a billionaire now because of this, and you don't even care.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Johnson. Yeah, son of a bitch.
I made over $1 billion.
What about the accusations, Mr. Johnson, that your head is like really round?
So what are you talking about? Who says these things? I think it's
yeah, well, I'm one of people who say those things.
So I know who to sue now.
I said it too. Good luck suing me. I'm a robot.
Damn. I was a robot once for like a week.
Really? Oh, how did that work out?
Man.
Yes. Okay. I don't know where else to go. We go with this. Roundhead Ryan Johnson, everybody.
Thank you.
So what else we got to talk about?
Well, I think we've gone on almost long enough. We can see if the audience wants us to talk about anything, since there's still at least 100 and some left in the audience there.
Yeah,
Cartman
thanks,
would kick RJ's ass. Yeah, but we figured
thanks,
out they're the same person, Austin. But
yeah, we've never seen the two of them in the same place at the same time together.
I'm pretty sure they're the same person.
Yeah.
In that movie.
Well, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us. You know, we realize you can do other things with your time on a Monday. So, but thanks for hanging out with us, spending time with us, and listen to us talk about different things. Adam Wolford, yes, I would love to see Spider-Man 2099 movie, but not by Sony. Yeah.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can.
Okay, Tyler Bowshot, I got one question for Tom and Rob, and I want to get the Beatles book Hard Day's Right for Christmas. Oh yeah, I have it here. Yeah, it's actually very informative.
Yes, I need to get that yet. I don't have that yet.
Yeah, it's actually a nice reference.
I make Rob look at it all the time.
Yeah, I keep it by my bedside actually. Lee Crystal, did you hear about Axnar will be making 250? Yes, 250-minute episodes. Yes.
Yeah, we are supposed to be talking to Alec Peters. I don't know what's going on.
Well, he moved to Atlanta recently.
Yeah, so I think he's a little busy at the moment. We have some other stuff I know planned about it, so I don't want to get too much into it.
Yeah.
So, but do check back to the main channel, especially.
Also, Tyler, I got to say, a good companion book is actually the Beatles, the Abbey Road recording sessions, the complete sessions. It has the studio notes, it has who played what, and on every track, and it's just it's a lot of technical data about each recording session. It's actually very good.
And for audio visual, I would recommend the Beatles anthology set.
Yes,
and the Blu-ray 1 box set. For sure, at least.
So you keep the book next to your Paul plush. Gotcha. Just want to double check with the experts.
There's a Paul plush doll.
The Paul plushie.
What does he do to the Paul plushie? It's a good thing Paul's dead.
Paul is dead, man. Miss him. Paul is dead.
What's all this gunk all over him?
I buried Paul. No, I'm not saying I buried Paul. I'm saying cranberry sauce. Thunder Danny Action Man, we know you guys how much you love the Beatles, but what about the Monkeys? I like the Monkeys.
Monkeys are all right.
Monkeys are good.
I like the Monkeys.
Yeah.
I just saw a place that has Monkeys action figures.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they had like a whole crap load of different costumes. Also, they had like the Santa outfits, they had the red shirts, they had the blue shirts, they had the Tarzan outfits, the superhero outfits. Yeah, they also had a lot of Kiss figures.
Kiss is cool.
Oh God! I saw a thing. Talking about Kiss, I saw something about Movie Bob today, and I know a lot of people don't like Movie Bob, but he actually did a thing about how Marvel and Casablanca Records and Casablanca Films were supposed to team up in the late '70s to make a Dazzler movie, and they were going to cast an actress to play Dazzler, who's to go around the country and on tour and sing. And the movie was supposed to star Cher and Donna Summer and the Village People and Kiss.
Was Kiss going to do the soundtrack?
I don't. Probably, yeah. They think they were, yeah. And it was supposed to be Kiss.
Well, I'm sure all those people would be on there.
Oh yeah, all those people would have been on the soundtrack. And Robin Williams was supposed to be in it actually.
Weren't they all on Chrysalis back in the day?
No, actually they were all in Casablanca.
Oh, okay,
Casablanca. I thought they were all on pot.
Yeah.
No, it was cocaine. Decade, right?
That was 80s. Yeah.
But if you get a chance to watch this video, it's actually really. I mean, there's a lot of really good information in it. Because there's a lot of people there's some people, I don't know who's a lot of people, but there's this idea that Disney is going to eventually want to cast one of the Disney singing princesses, as a Marvel character. And you don't realize how close we actually came to that in the 70s. And Bo Derek was originally supposed to be cast as Dazzler. And there's a picture of like People magazine with Bo and John Derek. And John Derek was actually the deal breaker because everything that Bo Derek was supposed to do, John Derek was supposed to direct, and he was a horrendous director. He was terrible. And there's a picture of him on People magazine, and he's got a stack of Marvel comics in his hands. And that apparently was supposed to be his research. But it's a very interesting video. It's about 9 or 10 minutes long. But like I said, I know a lot of people don't like Movie Bob, but trust me, this one's actually worth the watching. So,
versus Beatles stuff in the thing. I'm sure there was plenty of actual fist fights between women or girls back in the day over the Beatles and Monkeys.
Remember Marge? Remember Marge? You like the Monkeys? The Monkeys lunchbox. Remember that?
What was wrong with the Monkeys?
Yes.
No, nothing was wrong.
No, it was just there was probably a lot of girls and guys that would get into fights over which one was better.
Yeah, well, the Monkeys were the manufactured kind of ripoff of the Beatles in a lot of ways, but I still love them.
Don Kirshner. Don Kirshner. You guys are familiar with Don Kirshner, right?
Yeah.
Don Kirshner. Hello, this is Don Kirshner. In 1964, when the Beatles appeared on Ed Sullivan, we began casting for a new television series featuring 4 lads from America who would take the country by storm. In the early days in 1970, David Johansen was hanging around Max's Kansas City and CBGB's. Kush, the Beatles were manufactured in the very beginning. Actually, no, they weren't. They played in Hamburg for 6 years before they broke. Brian Epstein actually was the one who had all those ideas. It was with the suits and the hair and and the
they were wearing the leather jackets and looked like greasers in Hamburg.
Oh yeah, because
I'd argue they were more refined. They weren't manufactured. They were more refined.
Their public. Oh yeah, the public image was more refined.
Yes.
And,
where the Monkeys were completely like, because everybody else was writing their music and. I mean, they were basically a TV show, a cartoon kind of thing almost to a point where...
Yeah, it was like a live-action Saturday morning cartoon show.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Well, Mike Nesmith and Peter Tork were actual, musicians. Mike Nesmith had a couple of songs, I think, on the same record label beforehand. Mm-hmm. It was kind of funny, though. They really probably should have swapped Peter and Davey. Davey really should have been the drummer. Or not Peter. Mickey Dolenz should not have been the drummer. He should have been up front, and Davey should have been on drums. But he was so cute and pretty that they put him up front.
Well, Davy Jones was already. I don't want to call him a star, but he'd appeared in Oliver.
Yeah, he was a Broadway actor. Yeah.
Adam Warford, Hey Midnight's Edge After Dark. Have you heard of the American Werewolf remake?
Yeah. I think it stalled. I haven't heard anything on it in a while. Tyler, have we come across it in any of our travels of things that we've written about? I thought the last we had heard about it was like 2012, 13, 14, somewhere around. It's been a while. Yeah. And maybe recently there was some movement, but I haven't heard much in a while. I know that at least a year or two.
That is actually one of the few horror movies.
New. Okay.
Well, that's actually one of the few horror movies I'd really like.
That's right. We did because we were talking about it like probably about a year ago. Because I remember you mentioning that, and I remember saying, "Oh wow, actually a horror movie Rob actually likes." Yeah.
Yeah, American Werewolf in London. Yeah. Who directed that? What was it?
John Landis.
Okay. I remember the effects by Rick Baker won an award. Yep. I remember that.
It's the reason Michael Jackson wanted him to make Thriller. The two of them. Yeah.
And it takes place in London. I like London. And who's the girl?
Oh, Buck.
Yeah, I just looked up. I mean, I looked up her
name's
name.
on the tip of my tongue right now.
God, I can't remember either.
I know exactly who it is. I could probably get up and go look at the Blu-ray, but I know who it is. Somebody out there give it to us.
Yeah, but she was also in Logan's Run.
I know her name. Damn it, she's in Child's Play 2 as well. The hell is her name? Because I thought she was in another movie I was watching the other day, and I just said it too. I'm like, oh no, that's not her. No, I can't think of the name.
Oh, she's absolutely gorgeous. I know that. Let me see. American.
I didn't get to see her boobies in that movie.
But
Jenny Agutter, thank you.
Jenny Agutter, yes, thank you. That's why could I remember
thought
that?
I saw her in a movie the other day. I'm like, oh no, that's not her. But yeah, I knew her name. I couldn't think of it. God dang it. Oh, thank you
Yeah.
so much, Dark Saber Force.
And she was in actually 1973 Australian film called Walkabout, which actually
She was one of those that never really took off, but she was a good actress. Yeah, I mean,
she's a good actor.
She was
But
decently known enough, but never.
Yeah, she did a nude scene though in this movie, and she was only like maybe 17 at the time. I'm like, that's a no now.
Oh wow.
It's very innocent. She's just swimming though.
Well, yeah.
I think she shows her boobies off in Werewolf too.
Yeah.
Secret Rebel wants to know if we think Endgame takes place 2 years after Infinity War. I think more like maybe a couple months, if that.
I think a couple days because Tony's on the ship.
Yeah, it can't be that long. But I seen some meme the other day that was kind of funny. It's like Tony wouldn't be starving in space if Thor wouldn't have took all his food. Just remember when Thor's taking all those provisions and shit?
Yeah. Adam Warford. Also, how about the last Starfighter remake? The last thing I heard was writing the script. If you guys heard anything?
Very little since we reported on it. I know it wasn't that long ago. So these things take time. So it'll probably be another couple months before we hear anything about it.
But I was about to say though, Jenny Agutter, and actually, it wasn't that uncommon for very young actresses to do a lot of nude scenes. Helen Mirren was 18 when she did when she was in the movie Age of Consent with James Mason.
Aptly named.
Yeah, well, and she actually says James Mason was a very sad man up until that point. And that they went to Hawaii, they filmed this movie, and it was like he experienced a rebirth. And she said it was just this miraculous transformation that he had when they were filming, because I think he lost his wife or something like that. But
that's too bad.
Yeah, I only heard swimming. You were all talking about Helen Mirren. Yeah, Helen Mirren was absolutely gorgeous, and she's still a gorgeous woman right now. I mean, you kidding me? Jeez. But Helen Mirren told the story once about how she was never left the UK. She had to fly to Hawaii to film this movie. And she had a long leather coat. She had no idea what the weather's like. And she gets to Hawaii, she gets to the plane, and it's hot, and she's sweating up a storm. And she gets lost, and she's trying to find where she's going. And she goes into a full meltdown. She starts crying in the middle of the airport, and she's asking for help. I can't find my. And this big, huge place. She's don't worry, sweetheart. I'll help you. And she said she had no idea who this guy was, but it was just that. The fact that he took time out of her day to help her, she was so grateful. James Mason was great as General Rommel. Yeah, he was almost Bond. Yeah, he was also in Heaven Can Wait. James Mason was in a lot of really good films. So, but Flash. What else? I'm trying to think of. There was. I'm trying to think. Logan's Run was supposed to have a remake too, actually.
Last I heard, they were gonna remake Logan's Run and change it to a woman. Like Logan was her last name, or Logan could be a girl name.
Yeah, thanks, Discount James Mason, for helping Archer. That's a funny scene. Yeah, I know what poverty looks like, Discount James Mason. Jeez, you're all over the map with this one. Okay, what else? We got any more questions out there, guys? Who's playing? Brandon, are you playing, or is that Tom playing?
That's Tom.
Okay. Pardon me. I thought they're going to turn Logan's Run into a series again. I've heard a couple different things. Mexmen. Oh, Mexmen Unite. The Mexmen. Hey, Holmes. We're waiting for the Mariachi Entertainment System to do the Mexmen theme.
That'd be awesome.
Also, don't want a second remake Battlestar Galactica, rename the cast 2004, make a movie, retcon the ending, do something other than females, then a second female Starbuck. I like. X-Men, welcome to the fiesta. Oh yes, how goes the mariachi X-Men soundtrack?
We're waiting.
We're waiting. So anyway, I keep saying, oh god, are we wrong for me to deliberately give my older brother a cold? Because my brother, he was being kind of a dick today.
So like
No.
when Cartman gave AIDS.
No, I think it's your duty to give your brother a cold.
Well, he was doing the whole. He's always done the whole passive aggressive kind of thing. Because I told him that I was at GameStop today. I was gonna, because we all did the Secret Santa thing, and like an idiot, I admitted I got myself, and I picked his sister-in-law's kid, and so I said I was gonna get a $25 gift card to GameStop, which I think is a good amount. I mean, kid's not a blood relative. He goes, oh no, you have to get 30. I said, Lou, we put a $30 limit on it. No, oh well, and he started going on with me. Then he goes like, all right, go ahead, do what you want. I'm like, you fucker. I'm like, I said he pulled, my mom's like, what's wrong? I'm like, he always pulls this passive aggressive guilt trip shit on me. Is what's wrong. And he's not listening now. I could badmouth him. So I was like, when I see him next time, I'm thinking if I'm still sick, I should probably sneeze into a tissue or whatever and put it in a plastic bag so I could. He's got to come.
This is like premeditated.
Is Dirk Benedict still alive? Yeah, Dirk Benedict I think is still alive.
Yeah.
Has Andre ever gotten the X-Men? I don't think Andre knows. I don't think he knows them.
He listens to us once in a while. I found out.
Opinions on the Red Sonja movie. Prefer Gina Carano, the blonde android, Artemis, Westworld, 6 foot tall, strong actress. I really have no opinion on it. Yeah, but my brother Lou's always pulled that passive aggressive crap on me. Like, he guilt you into like you said, if you wanted like an extra roll at dinner or something like that, like, if you didn't eat something, or if you didn't finish it, don't you know there's kids starving in China who kill you for that? I'm like, I don't see any of them around here. So, oh my god, he goes, I can't believe you did. And then he said, all right, fine, I'll finish it. What, you're gonna have more? I'm like, haven't you had enough? I'm like, would you shut up? So he's got it coming.
Nate wants to know if we've seen any Spike Lee movies and then what our favorite is. I want to see Black Klansman. I've seen a few of his movies. My favorite to this point, though, before I see that one, I would have to say it's probably Do the Right Thing.
Yeah, Do the Right Thing. Jungle Fever was terrible. I hated Jungle Fever.
God, I don't think I've seen any Spike Lee movies.
Yeah, it's a very kind of East Coast thing.
Yeah,
most of his movies suck. I'll be honest with you.
The reason why he hasn't had a money making movie in over a decade. Then he goes on with Chris Hayes. He says something. How dare he's trying to promote his movie Chirac. He's like, how dare you, Chris Hayes? How dare you criticize me for that? I'm like, how dare him? How dare you been tormenting the cinema with another shit movie? All right, Do the Right Thing, Clockers. What do you think we wrap? What do you think we wrap this up? I think we pretty much
sure.
Okay, I guess we have to.
You seem so enthusiastic to wrap.
We're closing in on 2 hours.
Yeah, might as well. We said we were going to quit like an hour ago, I think.
Yeah. All right.
Like a third of our viewers, but the rest hang in there.
All right, guys. If you like what we do here, as always, if you enjoyed the discussion, hold on, Adam Walford, any more news on the Netflix Witcher series? No, I haven't.
Just that it's happening.
Still happening, though. If you like what we do, here, you want to hear more, click the subscribe button, click the bell icon. That way you are notified of all the latest content. Go over to the main channel, click subscribe, click the bell icon there. Random, tell them what they can do if they like you.
Go and click me. I'm in the chat, or you can just look up Mecha Random 42. I rant about stuff on the internet, and I did a Godzilla trailer reaction today. I complain about Star Trek Discovery. I have Patreon and Twitter also.
I thought you were going to say you can shove it.
Yeah.
That's
And
what they can
if,
do.
yeah. And if you really like us, you can head over to Patreon. You can check out what we got going on over there. Patreon supporters get all kinds of bonuses. You can get lost episodes, outtakes, bloopers, early info on new videos. You can get early.
Well, little birdie told me
Yes.
that there may be a early Trek log.
Oh, you heard?
Within the next week or so.
Yes. So yes,
production.
I've seen actually some of the Trek log, and that's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good.
It's gonna be the best one we've ever done. It's the most labor-intensive one ever, the longest one ever. There's so many characters in some of these shots that it's taking literally hours for like 20-second, 10-second shots to render. Not even that.
Well, you got to do what you did last time. We don't have the budget to do that.
No, so, didn't have that this time.
No,
there's been some compromises, but yeah, it's like no, we went all out for this one.
Yeah. So anyway, you can check out over there. Patreon subscribers probably will get first crack at that. Behind the Edge making videos. We learn how Midnight's Edge came to be. You can support the channel for as little as $1 a month. And if you don't have the means to support us through Patreon, click subscribe, click the bell icon, share with your friends, let the ads play, because as I always say, we cannot do this without you. Isn't that right, Tom? And isn't that right, Mecca?
That is right.
Yeah, way to come on.
Give us all your money, to quote Egotastic Fun Time.
Give us all your money. Give him all your money. You may find it funny. Yeah, we gotta have JP on. Did we get everything? We get him on?
Yeah, absolutely. I see him on my chat every now and then. So yeah. And I will say, hey, Midnight's Edge wants you to hop on the.
Yeah, when the Orville comes back, we can have him on a Trek log.
Well, I don't think we're gonna have time to do that song, which sucks. But yeah,
with the Christmas song.
Yeah, we got so much to do, and we haven't got a hold of too many people. But we'll see. Maybe we'll come up with something. Just a couple of us. We'll see. I got an idea.
Or we could just even do like a "We Are the World" kind of song, which is just not even Christmas, you know?
Yeah, that's true too. We can work that out
way.
In the future, maybe.
Yeah, that would be funny. So, anyways,
I love music, but it's just not that good. And to get everybody together to really record everything, it's going to be probably a bitch.
Yes, is Jake still in the shed? Yes, we have to go check on Jake. Whose
turn won't come out?
Whose turn is to check on Jake? 1, 2, 3, not it.
God damn it. Whatever.
All right, so we'll have to check on Jacob. Check out Melman's in hibernation. Lucky him.
Well, is he finally? I was gonna say, do I have to go get some salmon too? Thank God.
No. Melman's taking a nice long long nap.
Expensive.
He won't get up. He won't be up until April, maybe late March.
All right, good. But Jake won't come out the shed.
No. Jake is Jake and Ren are they're starting a new society over there. They're the Adam and Eve now.
Yeah.
So, all right. So anyway,
we're kidding, of course, people.
Yeah, we're kidding, of course. Yeah. So anyway, thanks everybody.
Take us seriously that we have somebody in chat.
No, this is all part. It's all a fiction.
A very old joke that has continued on.
Yes.
And on.
And on.
That's from back before when I was on the show, even.
Yeah.
That's how old.
And the Melman joke goes all the way back to Rob and Jake themselves.
Mm-hmm. The joke is we have a grizzly bear as our producer, and we just kind of play along that we don't realize he's a bear.
I thought it was he doesn't realize he's a bear, but okay.
No, we don't realize it.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to pick Melman up at the zoo. Is that the? It was like the joke is that the equivalent of picking a human up at prison? So, yes, Captain. Okay, let's throw some shout. Captain April. Yes, hey, Captain April. Be sure to check out his channel. We're trying to get him over 1,000 subscribers to get him remonetized. Check out Mecha's channel. Check out Ren's channel. Check out it's JP the Egotastic Fun Time. Check out Professor Geek. Check out who else? Who else? Who am I forgetting, Tom? I always do this. I always blank.
Yeah, Clownfish are really good.
Yeah, Clownfish TV. Yes, check him out.
Favorite ones. Yeah.
SC Reviews. He does good work. A lot of people.
The Overlord, of course.
Overlord DVD. Dictor Van Doomcock. Yes, Harvey. There's a new Harvey Cthulhu
I think I had 2 of them up today, right?
Yes. Harley Cthulhu clickbait news. He's got the fedora on, which is hysterical. I wish you could do a Harvey Cthulhu plushie. I really do.
Yeah,
Well, I have one.
That's Larry Cthulhu.
Well, yes, but mine is exactly like Harvey.
We tried, but we've learned Jim Cock
He's
is one of
sharp.
those you can't talk him into anything. He's got to decide to do it on his own. So
Pound me too. Pound me too. All right, guys. On that note, let's any final words, Tom?
silver and gold, silver and gold.
Mecca?
So much more when I see
Wait, Godzilla.
Godzilla fighting Ghidorah.
Stomping on my Christmas tree.
On Tokyo Bay.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Have a good night, and we will catch you next time.